Thanks for tuning in to this qualifying and practice update from the Sonoma Raceway Toyota SaveMart 350, which is going to take place tomorrow in California. We're recording this on a Saturday night, about an hour following qualifying. Of course, they did practice on Friday, so that helped us out to figure out a little bit. But still, we have some really crazy updates to talk about. Who would have thought Ford would be the talk of these past 24 hours? We certainly didn't, based on our show that we recorded just several days ago. So don't forget, we're going to have a link in the description of that show. As always, you're going to be able to check that out. If you want to find out what CJ and I talked about earlier in the week, we have more in-depth information on that video. And also, we're going to have a link in the description where you can check out CJ's fantasy report from rotowire.com. So check that out, as well as, of course, what we talked about earlier in the week when we went inside all the key drivers. And, of course, the odds are changed. I don't understand. It's starting to get to my... I'm really getting upset now with draft with everybody. It's not just DraftKings. It's not just any sports book. Vegas. Why are you waiting until after the Xfinity Series races to post the Cup race odds anymore? It doesn't matter. It used to matter more years ago, even maybe last year, when you had all these Cup drivers would be driving in the Xfinity Series. I could understand that. It made more sense. They don't drive in the Xfinity Series like they used to. So I'm sorry, it just doesn't make any sense why you have to wait until after the Xfinity Series to post odds. Why do we have to wait? The odds, I guess, will be available a little bit later on tonight, but still... just real aggravating that we have to wait so long for these odds to come out. Even though qualifying and practice is done, the Cup cars know what they've been able to do. And I wasn't going to wait till tomorrow, so I just decided let's go ahead and get this up there. And it's too bad because I wish I had the odds, but I don't. So let's see what we can work with here. Okay, let us first talk about qualifying. And pop up here from J-Ski. So here are the qualifying numbers. And don't forget, we talked about these trends. This is also important to remind you. Only 2 winners have ever started outside the top 7 rows at Sonoma and won. Only 2. You have to go way back. And it happened at back-to-back years, 2007 and 2008, when Kyle Busch and Juan Pablo Montoya did it. Back-to-back, they were 30th and 32nd. Since then, every driver has been inside the top 7 rows, the top 14. Does that mean it can't happen? Of course not. Could happen. Maybe it happens tomorrow. Martin Truex Jr. is outside. So is Kyle Busch. So is Denny Hamlin, who we thought was a really good long shot a few days ago. I'm not so sure now. But I especially because Truex and Hamlin are driving Toyotas, the way they're looking right now, I don't know. I better get really good odds. Now I know Hamlin's going to get good odds because forget it, he looks slow. So we were already getting 20-1. So now I think we should get 40-1. But Truex 5-1. I'm telling you right now, there is no way Martin Truex Jr. should be single digits to win this race. If he is, you just hey, you know what? If Martin Truex beats me, he beats me. You cannot wager on Martin Truex Jr. in single digits after the way he looks so far. Can he win? Yes, he can. Because the longer runs, that's how it seems to be working for Truex. And you got the longest of run tomorrow. So, yeah, do I think Martin Truex Jr. in a long-run situation can figure it out, find a way? Yes, I do. But I better get odds that are worth me wagering on the fact that he hasn't looked very fast at this point. Okay, but the other thing to keep in mind is I opened with, look at those two. Look at Logano and Blaney. How about that? The Fords. Now remember, no current Ford driver has ever won this race while driving a Ford. Okay, so if any of these 4 drivers win on Sunday, they'll be doing something for the first time at Sonoma. So that's why, even though Logano's first and Blaney's third, I better get good odds. Now, with Logano, his odds were pretty substantial. Okay, because remember, we were getting, 40 to 1, I believe, on Logano? 45 to 1 we were getting on Logano. Now, remember, we like Logano. He was one of our long shots. We said, got to take him, 45 to 1. We went over the reasons why. You can check it out on that video in the description. Blaney, now, we weren't getting as much as Logano. And that was the reason why we weren't like super excited about Blaney, because he was half that. He was not half, but he was about 28 to 1. We still liked him, but not as much because the odds weren't as good. But what we did mention is that, of course, he's got a roll of a win. He actually has 4 top 10s out of 7 attempts at Sonoma and 1 top 5, so he's doing okay. Blaney is a decent road course driver. He's decent. He's not bad. He's not great. He's decent. And if his car is fast, like it looks like it is, he has a shot now tomorrow. Absolutely. The question is going to be, what odds are you getting? Okay? He was 28 to 1. Is it going to... What do I think it should be? Again, in order to take Ryan Blaney and afford and to gamble on this, I still better be getting about 8 or 10 to 1. If it's less than that, man, it's tough. It's really tough for me to take Ryan Blaney when he was 28 to 1 for a reason. And now I'm supposed to, take him at 6 to 1 or 5 to 1? I don't know where he's going to be, but if I can get 8, 9, 10 to 1, I'm definitely considering it, because he's the fastest driver right now. It's not even close. Ryan Blaney is the fastest, and we're going to get into the practice speeds in just a little bit. All right, now, how about when you take a look at who's behind Logano? Now, check this out. Reddick is here. Now, how about this? I'm going to pop up. Here's practice, okay? Look who's here. Ty Gibbs, Toyota. Now how interesting is this? The 2 of them, Gibbs and Reddick, those are the only Toyotas in the top 9 in practice and qualifying. That's it. And it just happens to be that they were second fastest in both sessions. It's really weird. And they're different drivers, of course. So that's just not a good thing, though, for Toyota. 1 out of 9, top 9 on both practice and qualifying. Now, Chevy looks strong. Okay, 6 of the top 9 in qualifying. But, again, nobody in the top 3. As you can see, where are we now? Here we go. Nobody in the top 3. Elliott's the first one. And then look. Elliott, Larson, Byron, Suarez, Bowman, Chastain. Chevy, 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 Chevy. Now, that means something, without a doubt. And then for practice, we have Chevy, Chevy, Chevy. 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you've got Chevys here. All right, so Chevy, 3 of the top 5 in practice, 6 of the top 9 in qualifying. So definitely Chevys are a good look at, as is Ford, believe it or not. But I'm going to say this regarding Logano. And this is important, very important. Okay. 2 things. 1, check this out where Logano is in practice. Way back here, 25th. Not a good sign. You know what's also not a good sign? What we talked about the other day? There's only one driver, Kyle Larson, in 2021, winning from the pole at Sonoma since 2005. So I've got a doozy of trends that are saying no way, Joey Logano. I've got the pole trend, I've got the Ford trend, and I've got the fact that he is 25th in practice. So yeah, I can't do Logano unless I had him the other day, because I think being on the pole, he's going to skyrocket down. I'm going to be interested to see exactly how far, because will his odds be similar to Blaney, considering he's on the pole, but Blaney clearly faster in the combination of practice and qualifying. Blaney should be clearly his odds, because they were shorter the other day. They should remain shorter. So I'm very intrigued to see how far Logano drops. Look, if you still get a bargain with Logano where he's 15 to 1, 20 to 1, down from 45, all right, why not? Okay, why not? he's got a partner in Blaney. He's going to check out what worked for Blaney in the practice, run, and maybe it'll work to Logano's advantage. But I still have to get good odds on Logano before I go down that road. So yeah, so again, so even though Ford has 2 of the top 3, one of them is Blaney in qualifying, and they had the fastest in practice, which was Blaney, and 3 of the top 7. So the others, McDowell and Gregson. Now McDowell's the one that I'd be looking at, because remember, we said the same thing a few days ago. We were like, you know what? McDowell is somebody to keep an eye on. The thing that we didn't really like too much, though, was the 14-1. It was a little low, we thought. It was right by A.J. Allmendinger's number, and he was driving a Ford, which was not so good a few days ago. But McDowell, of course, has a win in Indy, so he's got a road course victory. And his last 2 results here are 7th and 3rd. So McDowell and Blaney. And, of course, Logano. Those definitely are 3 that you have to take a look at for sure now. As far as the Chevys, let's say, well, first of all, Elliott, who, just trying to double check. Yeah, Elliott, because remember when we were going through this, I said the other day, I don't like Byron. I'm going to pass on Larson. I'm going to pass on Bell and Gibbs as well, and Reddick, because he does not race here well, even though he's qualified well here. So even though he's qualified well here again, he just hasn't. Take qualifying out. Take the 1-lap deal out. This just hasn't been a good track for Reddick. So I'm going to pass on Reddick again. But anyway, Elliott was the one what I said, yeah, how can you not? Elliott 3rd in points. He's still not getting the respect. He's 8-1. He's like the 7th driver. I mean, come on. Elliott definitely was a good play the other day, and now I get the feeling that he might end up as the favorite, because he has, if you're taking a look at the combined runs, Blaney's first, Elliott's second, and then you have Bowman, Gibbs, and Chastain. Okay, so let's go with, so again, Elliott's a no-brainer. And I don't think he's going to be that low, but I think he's going to, my prediction is he's the favorite. I'd probably say, I don't know. Again, I hate making these predictions because I can be, usually I'm like really wrong on like half of them. But I think Elliott should be the favorite at about 5-1. Okay. I think Blaney will be, I think Blaney should be next, but I think Larson is going to end up right next to Elliott because he's starting 5th. De facto, Larson's 14th run in practice, not so good. And again, if you look at it, don't forget, he's got 5 poles in his last 6. So now it's 5 in his last 7. All right? And he still only won once. So what does that tell you? All right? Really good in qualifying, just like he was here. Not so good in practice, just as he was here in 14th. All right? And that's what matters the most. So, yeah, I'm just going to say no to Larson, yes to Elliott, yes to Blaney. Forget Byron right now. I didn't like him the other day, and I'm not going to like him now. Why should I, right? He's had 1 top 10 in 5 appearances, and he just won COTA. He's not winning back-to-back road course races. I'd be shocked if he did that, but I think his odds might be 3rd. He might be. Suarez, we know that he can win in road courses, but his practice speed was not so good, did not compare to his top 10 run in qualifying. But Bowman, yes, Bowman is the one, because we mentioned that we liked Bowman the other day. He was 45-1. Now he could be the one that ends up being a really good number still, because even though he qualified, what was it? Where did Bowman qualify? Bowman qualified 8th. So that's okay, right? That's good. But it's not so good. And then what's even better is the 4th place in practice. Remember, Bowman was 45-1. I still think you're going to get a good number on Bowman. You know, it's definitely going to be cut in half. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. But remember, Bowman was 4th at COTA, And he does have a couple of top 10s here. He does have a couple of runner-ups in overall 26 races on road courses. And Bowman we kind of felt that he could be somebody to keep an eye on. And for sure, I really like him now. Again, it's all going to depend on the odds, but I think the odds should be good for Alex Bowman. Chastain, now, because he did really good in both sessions. Matter of fact, he was ninth in both sessions. Chastain, if you take a look, 22-1. Now, I think he's somebody that's definitely worth it if you get good odds, and I think you still should get good odds because he's just inside the top 10. So I think you're still going to be able to get maybe 15-1 on Chastain. He was 22-1. So I say yes. Look at Chastain. He's got a COTA win. He was 7th at COTA this year. He's been in 4 Cup races at Sonoma, and he has 3 top 10s. And so do I think he's going to win? No. But if I get 15-1 odds, I think you probably should get that at least. Then I would definitely take a look at Chastain as a nice little long shot play. And Gibbs, I'd probably look at Gibbs a little bit. Coming off the 3rd at COTA, I know CJ really likes Gibbs because he was somebody that was on Gibbs the other day as one of his top plays. Wasn't one of mine. It was one of CJ's. And now the fact that Gibbs is going to start here second he's not starting here, but he's second fastest in practice. And he was 10th in qualifying. He was 12-1. So I don't think those odds are going to change much. Okay. Now, if they do, for some reason, he's like inside the top, 9-1, whatever, forget it. Okay. Because remember, one Toyota in the top 10 in each, in top 9 in each, not good enough for me. But if I'm still getting 12-1 on Gibbs, somewhere around that number, 10 to 12-1, then I'm thinking about it. But it's still hard for me to go Toyota, considering they just haven't looked fast so far. And if I'm going to go to a Toyota, I'm probably just going to go ahead and say, you know what? Let me just roll the dice with a few long shots. Again, maybe Hamlin still, and maybe Truex as long as he's not still considered in single digits, which he still might be. So we'll see how that all works out. But again, and then like I said, the other driver I would look at is McDowell, the other Ford, because you were getting 14-1. I can't imagine you're going to get better than that now. So I think his odds are still going to be decent. And because he was 6th in practice right here, I feel a little bit better about taking McDowell as long as his odds hang around that 15-1 number and don't go down much further than that. So now Kyle Busch might be the other one too, but only. And look, we're going to get a large number on Kyle because he was 28-1 the other day, and he's not so fast. But what did we just talk about? The driver that started 30th and 32nd, the 2 drivers, he was one of them. All right. That's why if I'm going to take a driver that's outside of that top 14, it would definitely be Truex, Hamlin, Kyle. But the only way because I know I'm getting good odds on Hamlin and Kyle, but the only way I'm going to do Truex is if the odds are in my favor. So that's going to wrap it up. Don't forget, once again, the link is in the description area for the video that we did the other day. Please subscribe to the channel because I'm going to actually, I know we've been, this has been a popular video on the channel, but we're just not getting enough subscribers. And the fact is, if we're not going to get enough subscribers, I mean, we've been getting 500 views, 1,000 views on these videos, and that's just not, it's just not really working when you compare it to the amount of subscribers we're getting. And therefore, if the subscriber base is not improved, I'm going to be switching this over to Prime Sports Network, and I have to take advantage of the views and put it there. That's where I get advertising dollars from. I don't get it here on this channel until the subscriber base goes up. So I'm just letting you know, even if you're still paying attention at this point in the video, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. But that's going to wrap it up. Comment section. Let us know who you're taking. And if you agree or disagree with anything I said, we'll be back, I believe, on Tuesday because we're going to be talking about Iowa next week. Iowa. That's going to be a lot of fun talking about Iowa. in the NASCAR Cup Series. So it should be unique. It should be interesting. CJ's going to join me. Don't forget to check out CJ's report, his fantasy report at rotowire.com. That's also in the description area. And we'll see you next time.